Good morning. My name is Ina Irby. I'm not a life coach. I'm not a therapist. I'm a mom. I'll give you a little update. Don't really know where to start. It has officially been 182 days. It's been it's officially been 182 days since my last confession, right? I think that's what Catholics say, but I'm not really sure. 182 days. Whoa, I'm not zapped yet. I know I'm still considered the devil. Let's see, what has happened to me? Let me give you, aside from this event that's going on, right? My life was pretty exciting because I was planning that this would be an exciting year, but I had no idea when I had no idea. I like that John is telling good news, right? He goes over the text from ExJW Analyzer. Yeah, awesome. And I like the good news. I don't really always listen to all of the text. My husband will turn all that on. I really don't. And I don't know why. Probably because like I said, I'm not a therapist and I'm not a life coach, but I do see when people leave, and truly leave, cut it off. I would imagine that we're fragile, and that's what I feel. I feel fragile, and so I'm careful what I listen to. I was one of those crazy Jehovah's Witnesses. I was very stubborn. And so the only thing I can think of is that it was a lot of safety too, right? I didn't want to accept all the badness. It was too much. I saw things over the years. And like I said, we would always say in my community that I was always putting myself into, well, Jehovah will take care of it. Another phrase is Jehovah's going to clean it out in due time. He'll clean it out. And, when I saw, Kobe's, but they were presiding overseers, just recently the last couple of years, Kobe's, or coordinators. I saw a presiding overseer who was really, really mean, and he dropped dead. And, I thought that's what it meant, that Jehovah would take care of it. He had a massive heart attack. And I don't think that's what it is. Looking back now, I know that is not what it is. But, you make excuses for badness. And I did. I made excuses. I wouldn't really want to look at it. Aside from that, I'm going to change the subject. AFSP, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.org. Yes, is wonderful. American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And when I say fragility or fragile, right? I think that I'm careful with what I put in now. And I appreciate this. And if you go to the homepage, it talks about mental health and COVID-19. And if you hit that, it goes into explaining what they have for people: advice and guidance, social sharing, public messages, so that you don't feel alone. So I think that mental health is very important. There's a lot of things around us that affect our mental health. So mental health, for me, is very important. So AFSP.org. What else? It's dying down when it comes to the frenzy and panic over here in Aliso Viejo. I noticed that my favorite grocery store, and one of the stores that our family goes to, is Trader Joe's. So I love Trader Joe's. And it's inexpensive and you can get quality food. And at Trader Joe's, there's limits to how many people come in and out of the store, which is very helpful because people aren't hoarding. And they also have limits on how much you can take, like 2 items for eggs and any sort of dairy product. And I noticed canned beans, 2 items over in our area. I did talk to a neighbor, and she has some family in LA, and she said her family is coming up into Orange County because they're older people, safety issues for the older ones as well. Staying in the line in the cold, and then it just feels safer to come down to Orange County. Now that's just my neighbor talking, but I would imagine if that is what her family is feeling, there are other families that feel the same way, that they would just come and drive from LA down to Orange County and get their food and then go back. So that's what I'm hearing in my community. I've gotten a text from a sister who didn't know I had disassociated myself. And it's funny because I never really know how to explain it. I don't want to be too wordy. I'm not used to this. This is strange. So that is something that I'm getting used to. I didn't realize I knew that there would be a cut. I saw my dad go through it, but you're still not really expecting it the way it happens. I don't know how to explain it. Your brain just doesn't understand it, especially because you're still alive, you're not zapped, and you just have a different view of life. Hi. I'm going to go ahead and read what the sister wrote to me. Hi, Ina. Hope you and family are good. We are good. This really reflects how Jehovah is taking care of us through his organization and elders. Be safe. My response, my sweet sister, doing good. Thank you. I've disassociated myself. I'm no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Child molestation, disfellowshipping. Have a good life. He proceeds to send me another text. Oh no, my dear sister, I don't understand. I could see that you love Jehovah and your daughter's answers were so good. Yes, be safe. And then it took me a while to respond to that, because I did respond. I said, be safe. Thank you for checking on us. So I think it interesting that Jehovah's Witnesses think because I have left the organization that I no longer love God. Because the organization, the men in the organization that are running it, are the ones that only God has blessed for true understanding. And if anybody decides to leave the organization, they are no longer loving God. And it's quite the opposite. When I realized that this was not a loving organization and that Jesus would not be behind this organization, I made a change. And that's why I left the organization, is because I still believe in a loving God, but I don't believe in this particular, I don't believe in any organization here on the earth that is a religion that has God's blessing. I just don't. So I think individuals that are doing the best that they can under the circumstances that we have right currently, I think there's a lot of wonderful people here on the earth. And there's no way that they're just Jehovah's Witnesses, right? Just Jehovah's, it's always just Jehovah's Witnesses. So whatever, I'm careful because I'm learning different things now. I'm letting myself learn things, and I'm open to listening to people, and I appreciate, I tend to appreciate everybody's output. I appreciate atheists, Buddhists, Hindus. It doesn't matter to me. I do find what I appreciate too is free speech. And I notice that I don't gravitate to people who say, I know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what you have to say, because you don't know. And that's part of realizing that we all don't know. We're doing the best we can. And I think that's what's frustrating, is because you find people that say, I know. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't want to put my energy into that. I don't feel like I need to do that. And there are times when I'm in a group setting and there's somebody who always talks and is very overwhelming to the group. And I feel like, okay, well, it's not my responsibility to put people in their place. I don't want to do that. That's not why I was there. I wanted to be able to be encouraged, but I don't want to have to fight my way through it. If people want to believe the way they want to believe, that's fine. But I don't necessarily feel I have to constantly fight about it and try and, get people to think the way I think. But I also don't want them to make me feel that I have to think the way they think. They can think that way. Go in peace is what a friend of mine says. Go in peace. And that's basically what I do. I don't feel like I need to make it right. I don't feel that need anymore. I just feel like, okay, I'm on an exciting journey. I have no idea what this holds for me. I think YouTube is interesting because it's basically a human experiment, right? We're all just kind of experimenting here. So, and I don't look past today, because if, things happen. I don't know if I'm going to be alive tomorrow. I can walk out the door and get killed because somebody wasn't paying attention. They were looking at the cell phone or something. We don't know. So I'm just going to enjoy the day. And that's how I live. I just enjoy the day. I enjoy that I know who I am in the morning. I enjoy that I have my kids. I enjoy the irritation even of the crazy that comes with homeschooling. It's crazy. But it's a really fun crazy. I'm grateful that I had children, because a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses do not have children because they're going to wait for the new world. That's a whole other subject. Let me see. What else was I going to tell you? I saw a sister. She had 2 children. She was the sweetest sister. I mean, out of all the congregation, I would have thought this sister would have acknowledged me. Nope. She was sitting down on a rock with 2 kids, her 8-year-old and her 5-year-old, I think it is. And I walked over to them. And fortunately, I was on the phone with another sweet sister. And we just kind of were chatting. And I said, oh, can you just kind of hang on the phone with me? Because I want to be myself. I don't want to be this like shunned person that they say I have to be. I don't want to be that way, because that's not me. So I walked up to her and I hugged the kids and I gave them kisses. And they were so sweet. The kids were just, oh my goodness, they were just the sweetest things. And I told them that one of the little girls said, we miss Ani. And I said, I know, she misses you too. I hope I said that, because that's what I wanted to convey, that we miss them. And that my daughters are always concerned, because they say, I hope they know that we miss them. I'm like, I hope they do too, but we don't know. And we're not allowed to, and that's okay. That's how it's run. That's how the corporation runs the people. And I understand that, because I was the crazy Jehovah's Witness. However, I always acknowledged, I always tried to acknowledge Disfellowship people, even if it was quietly. And it's weird, because when you're disfellowshipped, you feel like you have to act the part, the letter, the scarlet letter, whatever you have on site, and you put it on yourself. You put it on yourself. You don't have to. And the mother didn't acknowledge me. She would just kind of turn her head one way and then turn her head the other way. She would not look at me. She did not talk to me. So she was a good Jehovah's Witness, you know. It was odd to see them kind of at the park by themselves, not with any other adults. So it was the mom and the 2 kids. So I was kind of worried. And I did ask if everything was okay, and the girls responded to me. So, you know, because you worry about people. That was kind of strange. So between, you know, there's certain things that you think, okay, you're kind of done, right? You're kind of done and you don't have to put up with that anymore. Because you're not putting yourself in that situation, right? You're not going to the meeting so people can shun you. But you find that there's people that either don't understand, haven't heard. You find that there are people that haven't heard about you yet, so you have to kind of explain it. And I also don't want to put them in a situation where they feel like they have to respond. There's a frenzied, scary feeling that people have in the organization when it comes to someone who has kind of set a line in the sand. And I know that because of what my husband did. And it scared me. It scared me. So I think it could be, maybe it's because they're right? That people will get the mirror up and then make you look at it. And then you realize, could they be right? So I think that is probably what scared me the most, because there was a lot of things that I should have just cut myself off from. And I hate to should myself, right? No one likes to be shoulded. But that's the only thing I can think of, protection. That's why American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is really important. To be able to connect with people, because now you're isolated and there are so many things that can happen to you in your mind. And look, 182 days and I'm not zapped. Got it? I'm still alive despite this event. My children are happy. They're very happy. I think they've never been happier. They can have kids right now. And they're, they do FaceTiming, or they walk to the park and they see other people. And yes, we try the distancing. Yeah, but they're kids. Kids are gross. I remember my daughter, she was 2.5, and I was the germy mom, right? The mom that didn't want you wash your hands. She was my first kid, so I was gonna protect her. And there was a time when my husband does a lot of automotive work, so his shoes come back black, and he's been all over in bathrooms. You've seen the bathrooms that are in the gas station or whatever. And she had her father's shoe sucking on it in her mouth, the blackest part of the shoe. So, kids, they survive. And I'm not downplaying our event. I'm just saying my child survived that, and she's still alive. She's 13 now. Yeah. So our bodies are very fragile, but they're also very resilient. Resilient. Think of that. That's a good word. Resilient. So, I'm trying to think of anything, if I've missed anything. No, I think I took care of everything. I always have afterthoughts when it comes to these kind of things when I do this. I'll put the link of American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. That's something that will always be something that I think is very important. Mental health. Mental health can get you through difficult times. Good mental health. And being with people that are positive, right? I hope this helps you on your healing journey, friends. Follow your bliss and be good, you.